After like 2 or 3 weeks, I remember thinking, this thing looks fun, but I'm fat. As a personal side note, when I started Jiu-Jitsu 4 years ago I was in Southwest Florida. Shout out to Southwest Florida, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I started out with watching my children, and we wanted our kids to do something because they hadn't done physical activity in a while. And, I've always enjoyed combat sports. So we just looked up what was in Cape Coral, Fort Myers area, and we found Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Southwest Florida. So we came in. The kids had a first training class with Joe, and they loved it. We started out going there, and after like 2 or 3 weeks, I remember thinking, this thing looks fun, but I'm fat. I can't do this thing. I'm gonna die. At that time, I used to weigh around 300 pounds. And the sheer idea of starting a sport like Jiu-Jitsu was painful just thinking about it. It was very uncomfortable. Those tight shorts and shirts looked very tight. So it took me a while to get used to the idea, but it looked really interesting and I really wanted to try. So I ended up going to Joe and, saying, yeah, I think I want to try. And he's like, yeah, come here. So, with a lot of encouragement, I started. And man, yeah, it was hard. It was hard. It still is hard. And I've lost almost 75 pounds at this point. It was really hard. It was really uncomfortable dressing that way, doing things that I know I didn't look pretty doing, that's for sure. Once that first initial month or two wore off, and of course I didn't see results right away in terms of health and character building and all that stuff. I would be lying if I said I did. But I did learn resilience and I did learn perseverance. And I just rolled with it and I continued going. And, as time went by, a year and a half, 2 years later, I was down almost 80 pounds. I was doing small local competitions at 205. When you work hard at something that was uncomfortable to begin with, you can feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in what you did because you know where you started at and you know the fear that was there that made you not want to start. And overcoming that fear is a victory in itself. So I hope this is a little bit of encouragement if you're thinking about starting Jiu-Jitsu. I really, we say Jiu-Jitsu is for everyone, and sometimes, that we tend to exaggerate slogans like that, but I really do think Jiu-Jitsu is for most people. It teaches a lot. Of course, not everybody's gonna do Jiu-Jitsu the same way. A 20-year-old athlete, a guy like me in his early 40s, and an elderly person above that is you're not gonna roll around the mats and drill the same way. That's perfectly fine. Jiu-Jitsu still has something to teach us in terms of character building, perseverance, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable. And all of these things I've learned through my journey, and I'm really, really thankful for that starting point, that little seed of getting me on that path to starting to be comfortable with things that were not comfortable to begin with, and that I had fears of.